Hey, if you haven't already, I know we're doing an oil painting today, but if you haven't already checked out our acrylic rocks technique DVD, definitely do that. You can get it as a download lesson too. But it'll teach you how to do a whole bunch of different rocks. And if you're an oil painter, you may want to buy it anyways. Take a look at it because you'll learn some brush strokes in there that are really useful when it comes to doing these rocks. Hi, I'm Kevin Hill, and as you can see, we've already got a mountain going on in the background here. You probably recognize this from last week's video. This was our tip video where we did the palette knife and the brush comparison. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out after this video. But I figured I'm just going to incorporate these mountains into our landscape because I really like them and I thought they'd work well. The one thing we need to overcome though is we've got to make them look similar so that they fit in one painting. I'll show you how we do that. And if you're looking forward to seeing this, you'd like to see more, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more painting videos. All right, let's get started. So now I'm just adding in some clouds, just because I think a painting, it needs clouds. Now, these mountains, for the most part, are still wet. This painting is close to a week old. Most of it's still wet. This blue sky, however, has dried. So what I did just a second ago was I put another layer of blue paint on top and then covered up that little line. So now the sky is wet. I'm able to blend these very simple clouds. I'm not going to overdo the clouds. The idea was that this was already done and we could use it, and just continue from here. It makes us a little more available to put some more detail in the foreground. I think that's going to be exciting because half the painting's already done. So hey, if you ever do a practice that you're kind of happy with, don't throw it away. Don't waste it. If you can incorporate it into a painting, do it. But I'm just going to blend here with the filbert brush. Who knows? Probably won't need to do much else to these clouds. I like a little texture in my clouds. That looks decent, doesn't it? The hard part's going to be getting these things to look similar, because one was done with a knife and one was done with a brush. And the other problem we're going to have here is they're mirrored. They look the same. So one of these mountains is going to need to get a little bigger, and maybe we'll take, say, take like this peak, for instance, and we'll blend that out. Now here's just a tip. We'll probably scrape that paint away. Because like I said, some of this is wet, some of this is dry. You can literally, it's kind of fun to show you this sort of stuff. You can literally scrape that away, that texture, and you can paint right over that. Nobody will ever know there was a mountain back there. Unless, of course, they go watch the video. But that changes it, so it's not identical anymore. Now the next step is to make these mountains look similar. So I'm going to add a little knife texture to the top of this one, and I'm going to add a little brush texture to that one. And they should come out looking, similar, which is all we need. If you haven't seen that other video, we tried to match these mountains as closely as possible to figure out which, was mostly for you guys to figure out which mountain you like better or just want to try to use more. Palette knife or brush. Actually, with that video, came out pretty good, I think. I think it'll be helpful if you haven't already seen it. All right, that looks decent. So there you go. A little knife texture on that one. And we will just do the same on the other one, but with a brush. We'll do a little brushing on this one. There, good. Smooth out some of these highlights just a little. And then what we'll also do, we need to create a mountain in this area. And we'll just do that with, I don't know, random colors. A filbert brush. Just literally, a little dark, watch this. Just literally bring this in. Nice. Maybe, yeah, watch this. Push some of that other mountain back. It'll make it feel more like it was always supposed to be together. I've quickly dropped in just, I don't know, like a little background mountain thing. Good enough. I'm going to blend it out with a fan brush, of all things. Crazy, isn't it? Well, yeah, probably is. It's just more a matter of brush management than it is anything else. I have my blender brush, but I'm thinking about using it for mist. I may want to, get back to it. I'd like it to be nice and clean for that, so I'm going to blend with the fan brush. And it doesn't make a whole lot of difference what you use to blend this. Don't make the mistake that I used to make whenever I was learning to paint, which was using the fan brush to, like, you know, pull grass. It looked like grass. You can do it and it looks good, but I never quite pulled it off. I always made it look like grass, so I just don't do it anymore. There, I'm going to add a nice misty spot. There. And then maybe just one more little mountain thing, I guess. I have a plan, but I don't have a real clear plan. It's a good way to start, isn't it? Jump right in. I don't have a clear plan, so you know anything's gonna happen. Not always a good thing. Have a little purple back here as well. Purple looks good. Nice. Hey, you notice this? My mountains almost always go up like this at the end of the painting. All right, let's just blend real quick. This is just background material. Most of this isn't even going to show. There. Hey, you know what else would be good? Maybe let's take this, watch this, and just use that color. I'm not really going to paint trees or anything today. I'm just going to take that color and blend it up and into these very wet mountains. Carefully. See that? So it looks like maybe something extends back in there. I don't know. Just links the foreground to the background instead of chopping it off with a hard edge. I'm blending with the 3/4 brush now. And then over here, maybe we'll just give ourselves little trees, because this one's a lot closer. So you just do a few individual trees like this. Each one is slightly different from the one next to it. That's very important. There, I'm just finishing up placing a little water, not much. And now I've got a filbert brush that already had some green on it. I'm just going to throw it. Ooh, that's awfully green. Let's grab a little more, little brown. Oh, there, that's pretty. Most of this, I guess maybe I put in more water than I really needed to, because most of this is going to be covered up with rocks, but that's no big deal, is it? Now our lighting, of course, is coming across like this. We need shadows underneath all of this grass right here to make it look good. But I'm not too worried because of the amount of rocks that we have going on. A little of this shadowy grass right up in here is actually a very good thing. This area is very dry. It makes it easy to highlight later, of course, or add other stuff. We may not even do a whole lot of highlight here. We're just kind of leave it impressionistic in this area at least. And that is a decent start. Now, what we're going to do next, taking the filbert brush, is just bring out a tree or two. Finally, get something else going on. I'm just going to start right here. That works. Then you get up here and just drop it in. I like to smash my trees in like this, as you know, and then come back out and carefully pull out the details. There, I'm just finishing up adding on these little final touches. I just spent about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes, probably closer to 10 minutes here, just with the filbert, just with the detail around. Adding all these comma strokes in. And they look really pretty decent. I'm happy with how they came out. Now we need a little bit of rock. A little bit of rock. A little bit of rock action down here. That looks good, doesn't it? There. You don't have to go with the same color. I'm not even sure that I like that color. I know you're just saying it looks like black. Well, that's fine. It's really supposed to, you know, it does look like black, but I'd love it to have some purple in it. Oh, that's so much better. You're laughing at me because you can't see a difference, but trust me, when you go to put your highlights on, it'll mix. And these little, oh, there you go, you see it mixing already, there. And these little bits that you add in now are going to make all the difference. The other thing here is, it's a bright, because this was just a practice canvas originally, it's very bright, and we didn't focus a whole lot of sunlight, you know, so I'm adding these trees, and I'm just going to add kind of more or less a silver lining on these trees, I think. Not too much past that, because I want to keep that darkness. Now it's starting to look like a painting again, which is very interesting. And it's kind of fun to see though, isn't it? You know, see the differences. And oh, there we go. That rock is nice. That's big. That's a big rock right there. It really is. And we'll run that right off the side there. Cool. And then of course you got to pull that reflection. And anytime you think maybe you're getting a little out of control, you can always stop and wipe the canvas with a shop towel. That's simple. That's a simple little reflection right there, though. That's halfway decent. Now, maybe another. Oh, I like that one. That's good. Hey, if you haven't already, I know we're doing an oil painting today, but if you haven't already checked out our acrylic rocks technique DVD, definitely do that. You can get it as a download lesson too. But it'll teach you how to do a whole bunch of different rocks. And if you're an oil painter, you may want to buy it anyways. Take a look at it because you'll learn some brush strokes in there that are really useful to, when it comes to doing these rocks. There, but if you're at all interested in acrylics, definitely check it out because it is one of my favorites. I think it came out really good. All right, let's see here. Another rock or two. And definitely all up in this area. I kind of like that little bit of blue mixing. If it gets too annoying, obviously you may need to, wow, I put a lot of white and blue down. More than usual. But I kind of like that. It forces a little distance. Now I'm going to take a few minutes to drop in a lot of highlight on these rocks using the 1/4-inch flat brush, which is really perfect for these background, really probably perfect for all of these rocks. Especially nice for the ones back here. If you kind of hold it like this, see that? You'll actually get a softer touch. It'll come off a little easier. See that? Kind of just creates that nice highlight. And that's all this is, just a little highlight. We need a mid-tone, but I'm going to do the mid-tone afterward. I'll just do it the same way, nothing crazy. Sometimes you can kind of let your brush get dirty and then you get an automatic mid-tone just like you see me doing. Right there, see that mid-tone that happens? Not bad. Just important to kind of keep that light source in mind as you highlight these rocks. Each one is different. That's good. That makes it more realistic, and that's kind of what we're going for. Well, anyway, we'll just finish up doing this, creating all these little bits of highlight. So now we're going to add on final highlights to, well, at least these brighter orange trees up here first. It's a good place to start, and then you can transition into doing the green ones. There, that's pretty. Look at that. Just kind of sprinkle the light around. And you can glop it on as thick as you need to. The trick to wiping these off, if you want to wipe these off with a paper towel, is just lay your paper towel on there, leave it maybe 5 minutes, and then pull it off. Don't rub it. That's the trick to kind of absorbing that oil. It'll literally suck the oil out of the paint, and it'll be like twice as dry. It'll be very thick, very, very thick, and that's great. Makes it easy, and we may or may not need to do that. I'd rather not because it takes 5 minutes. We'll see. But so far so good. I haven't gone too bright yet, so we may need to before I add the final highlights. Just something you gotta kind of wait and find out. There, it looks good though, doesn't it? Just a few touches. I'm actually going very slow. There's not that many trees today. You know what? 10 trees maybe? I haven't counted them, but anyway. I'm going slow because I can, because I'm not feeling too rushed. There. But it is really fun. I hope you enjoyed seeing how to incorporate something that was already done in the actual landscape. You know, those mountains were there from last week. They were, part of them were dry, part of them are wet, just depending on which colors. And it was, I hope you found it interesting kind of seeing how we work around all that. And even adding a cloud in the middle there to try to make it look like we didn't draw a big massive line. If I knew I was going to save the mountains, I would not have drawn that line. This just made more work for myself, but hey, we worked around it, didn't we? Now I'm going to just add in a lot of little branches and stuff. This is what's going to kind of give us some of our final detail. And it makes the painting. There's not a whole lot of different stuff going on in this painting. It's trees and rocks against a little mountain. I mean, it's not the most intricate painting. And so to make it look good, what sometimes you have to do, you have to come in and add more liner brush work than you would normally. We're going to at least kind of try to get a little extra in, just for that reason. See that? Pick out some of these more bland areas, like I'm working in right now, this little flat, kind of dark area, and bring in these little shots of detail and highlight. Oh yeah. That, to me, makes that area more interesting. Now, obviously, you have to follow the light source. You can't just throw these, over here. They wouldn't be that bright. So start out with your light ones, put them in the middle. As you work away, get your darker colors out and put them in the dark areas. That's all there is to it. It's just so easy. There. It's easy as long as you don't overcomplicate it. If you start thinking about it too much, it becomes very difficult. So just throwing that out there. But maybe a little bit of a stick in that. The little bush there kind of adds a nice layer to this whole scene, I think. Very good. Just a few more. Coming down like that. Then we can change to a darker color. There's really no foreground grass today, so we'll just add extra limbs. Let me thin that down just a little bit more. There's a nice gray, and we'll use that gray to bring in these little branches up here. Oh, contrast. Do you see that? Huge amount of contrast. Makes all the difference. Of course, you don't do this with black, right? You always do it with a gray, a dark gray. Because if you do it with black, it'll look darker than anything else in your painting, and it won't look right. So you do it with something that's just not quite black. I learned that lesson the hard way. You can go back to some of my old videos, and you will see. I used to use black. There. That is really decent, isn't it? All right, well, I think we're done. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. Don't forget to check out our website, DVDs, and brush line. Thanks for watching.